My lords, our recent advancements in mining technology have enabled us to bore deeper into the crust on one of our newer colonies. In the depth of its mineral mines, we have stumbled upon traces of an ancient alien civilization leading further into the mountainous terrain of the world. The civilization seems to have been built along an unexploited ore vein. Excavation of the site will impede our mining operations on the planet, and likely mean the newly found mineral vein will become far more difficult to extract. However, given our Empire's standing orders to obtain any and all galactic knowledge and history, the planetary governor ordered a science team to begin excavation. Doctors Took and Brandybuck led the excavation. An initial scan of the site suggested a many-leveled subterranean city carved from a natural cave system. Multiple dense mineral veins ran the length of the site, including gold, iron, and likely diamond deposits. The scan suggested a spiderweb-like structure with but one entrance, a long, winding cavernous vein poking out to the surface. The science team advanced through this long winding cave and eventually reached a set of marvellously ornamentally designed gates, preventing any way further forward. Whoever built these gates surely had a rich culture and were expert engineers, for not only were they beautiful, but they also appear to be an environmental seal. They are seamless, and no air flows from one side to the other. Travelling deeper into the cave system would require dismantling or piercing these great gates. Although Took and Brandybuck jokingly tried, reciting the word friend did not allow them entry. The team set about drilling into the gates in order to begin dismantling them. Explosive charges were not used, as scans appeared to show the environment beyond the gates being made up of mostly methane gas, highly explosive when ignited. The rocks were quite porous and seemed to be releasing the gas into the cave system. The team carefully dismantled the massive gates which blocked further exploration of the mountain. As the gates came down, a marvellous rush of gases came pouring out of the mountain. Methane, being lighter than oxygen, gushed out of the now breached subterranean city, and oxygen poured in. The city could now be explored safely, although the doctors point out how anything could have lived down here, let alone built a city in this deadly environment, is beyond them. In any case, work dismantling the gates was completed without disturbing the integrity of the dig site, and it appeared that the scans of the tunnels were indeed correct. This ant-like tunnel system converges kilometres below the surface in an abandoned city, which the doctors report dates back many thousands of years. As the doctors and their team push into the city, they report it to be designed in a similar way to the great gates that block their entrance. Marvellously well-designed great sculptures and beautiful ornate buildings. Whoever lived here was indeed a master of stonecraft. Great swathes of precious metals had been used as decorations, reflecting the light of the team's torches. It was truly a wonderful sight to behold. The city, unsurprisingly, was deserted. Our scans had detected no signs of life. However, bizarrely, the city is populated instead by gruesomely grimacing crystal statues, posed in lifelike situations as if frozen in time. There are thousands of statues all over the city, in places quite odd for ornamentation. For example, there are statues operating mines, with pickaxes still in hand, statues fallen over in agony, statues perhaps of a couple, or perhaps a family, locked in an embrace, and others appear to be running, although from what we cannot tell. More disturbingly, these statues almost look like people. Although clearly extremely alien, one can see the resemblance in the behaviour. The doctors report it seems unthinkable that the masterful stonecutters who built this city, and were clearly capable of such beauty and grace, would also make something so crude. Yet these statues clearly held great importance and significance to their society. Not only are they everywhere in it, they also feature prominently in carvings and tablets all over the city. Translations of the stone tablets reveal that the city and its culture indeed does revolve around the enigmatic statues, which are reportedly called the Kha'lanka. Never are the stonecutters themselves mentioned. The tablets detail a mysterious creation tale. Not unlike myths told on ancient Earth, they tell of a race of godlike creatures who came down from the heavens and breathed life into the mountain. These creatures birthed the Kha'lanka from fire and stone, deep within the world's molten core. Brandybuck and Took wonder if the stonecutters imagine themselves as gods over their statues' creations, or perhaps the statues were created in the stonecutters' image. One of the statues was taken aboard the Doctor's science vessel, the Shire, in order to conduct a detailed material scan. What the scan revealed was quite disturbing. Apparently these statues were once alive. Their genetic composition resembles no other sample we have ever encountered. They appear to be a silicon-based life form, or lithoid, also known as rock people, that has somehow reverted back into a crystal state. The Doctors revisit the creation myth told in the stone tablets. Perhaps the stonecutters really did find a way to create life from fire and stone. It appears, my lords, we may have accidentally committed genocide. Details to follow. After further material scanning and experimentation on the liberated statue, the Doctors believe the statues, i.e. the Kha'lanka, are also the stonecutters, the ones who built the city. They were indeed once alive and thriving until quite recently. Closer study of their remains has shown that they were crystallized when their silicon-based molecules bonded with oxygen, leading to the formation of quartz. As we know, the Kha'lanka habitat is at a depth where oxygen does not naturally occur. They therefore developed as an anaerobic life form, i.e. not requiring oxygen to live, instead using the great quantities of methane available to them for respiration. It appears when our science team opened and broke through the Kha'lanka protective gates and delved into their tunnel system, we exposed them to air and oxygen, leading to an excruciating and drawn-out death as they became exposed. This explains why we found so many statues in odd positions throughout the city. Further surveys have confirmed the Doctor's suspicions. Until the first science team pierced the tunnel system, the Kha'lanka civilization were indeed alive and thriving. We can only speculate, but the Doctors suggest another race did indeed come here many thousands of years ago, and birthed the civilization just as the tablets suggest. As they left, they built the airlock that kept the Kha'lanka sealed in place, keeping them safe from the oxygen atmosphere on the surface of the planet, and thus this is how the Kha'lanka lived until we came along. Doctors Brandybuck and Took do however report it is not all bad news. The discoveries here have led to the invention of a technique where crystals are manufactured synthetically by oxidation of artificially grown silicon-based cell cultures. A large amount of rare crystals have been extracted, and translucent plants have been set up to keep them coming. My lords, obviously the alien lives lost are of little consequence. However, I feel Brandybuck and Took need to be reprimanded. Regardless of the overall outcome, mistakes were made, and genocide, even if accidental, does us no favours on the galactic stage. I leave their punishment in your capable hands, my lords. Thanks for watching, folks. How, if at all, would you punish our accident-prone science team? And as ever, if you want to hear another story, please click the video on screen now.